Freedom! Running with the lions. 4x4. Hi everyone. So many years ago, I set up this YouTube channel as a mechanism to reach a broader audience and to use my knowledge and experience and my work with the lions to try and enlighten more people around the world to the plight of the lion, both in captivity and the wild. I aim to do three things on the channel. The first was to entertain, second to inform, then there's the education part. And this is not the easiest one of the three. In a world where people want you to get to the crux of a matter in 15 to 30 seconds, when it comes to education on lion conservation matters, it's extremely difficult to hold an audience's attention, and even more so when it comes to matters that evoke emotions or deal with difficult decisions. However, I do believe as a lion community, or as an extended lion pride as I call the people who follow me, these conversations are extremely important. So I'm pleading to you guys, you, my loyal audience and members of my extended pride, to give these next 20 minutes of video the attention they deserve. And please also understand, guys, I'm not necessarily for or against these methods, but I'm merely trying to relay the information to you so that you all can understand it better and know what's happening. I truly hope you'll watch this video till the end with an open mind and leave your comments as always below. However, please guys, I urge you to be thoughtful and considered when doing so. It's easy to hurl abuse, but it's much harder to give thoughtful and considered, open-minded opinions. For those of you who watched till the end, I want to thank you, and welcome to my world of the complex and often contradictory things that are happening in the lion conservation world. Beautiful spring morning, guys. It's going to be a wonderful walk with Echo and Naomi, who are turning 18 years of age. Let's go. Come. Yeah. Come. Oh. Let's go. Come. Come on, let's go. Let's go, come. Oh. Wow. Let's go. Come. Echo, come. There's the gate. Naomi, you've been so loving today, hey? Oh, you know what's happening. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Granny. Yeah, time to do some exercise, hey? Time to do some exercise. Come, you don't want to do exercise, eh? You just want to play. Let's go. Come on. Oh. Come. Hello. Hello, how are you? Let's go. Yesterday, is this going to be an all-day walk? Hey? Freedom! Takes them a while to figure it out, but yeah, once they figure it out, hey, we go for a walk! Woohoo! And off they go. Oh, what fun! So it actually has been a little while since Echo and Naomi have been out. My fault entirely. It's been quite hectic. But I'm trying to get back into my regular routine of these walks with the lions because they really do enjoy them. It's so good for them, physically and mentally. And off they go. Running with the lions. Quick update on both of their health. Ever since they were spayed, the manes fell out. Echo is back to her loving self, no longer short fused and testosterone filled. So Echo back to her loving self, and Naomi also Niobe back to her usual self. Niobe wasn't as bad in terms of aggressiveness, but also had the mane develop. Let's go this way. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, ooh! Look at what's happened here. Some warthog has been digging up the ground. Ground is all nicely tilled. Today's video, guys, I'm wanting to delve into the lion numbers in the world, and then, you know, hone in on the lion numbers in South Africa. Where are lions found in South Africa? And then the complexities of keeping wild lions in South Africa. Who would have known that the wild lions in South Africa face such interesting problems? It's not the problems that I think you guys are thinking of. It's not dwindling numbers like the rest of the lion population. Come, let's go. All right, so she's found some poo-poo to rub in. Maybe we'll go around here with Niobe to the dam. Let's go to the dam. Come, crazy cat. Come, this way. Come, yeah. So a nice little area to just have a bit of a chat. Let's go. Look at the beautiful area, hey? Isn't that a nice area, my girl? Ooh, careful. Come, let's go and get some water. Yeah. Come, Echo. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Niobe. Yeah. Come. Ooh, nice smells here by the dam, eh? So while we're waiting for Niobe to get over her endorphin rush, we can start delving into the actual crux of today's video. Lion numbers in the world, barring the Asiatic lions, which is probably about 400 or so, but most scientists would agree that we are looking at anywhere in the region of 15 to 25,000 lions, probably settling on a figure of about 20,000 lions. Generally speaking, lion numbers are declining, and that is due to pressures north of South Africa. Let's just put it that way. Some countries, lion numbers are doing famously well. One particular country that lions are doing particularly well in is South Africa. South Africa has almost become a victim of its own lion success. It's a strange one, that, because when I talk to people about lions, they go like, but lions are plummeting, they're declining, their numbers are in dire straits. By 2050 there might not be any lions in the wild, but yet you say, Kevin, lions, yeah, Niobe, actually this way, Niobe, this way, yeah. Yet you say, Kevin, lions in South Africa are of no particular concern because lion numbers are actually doing very well. So while Echo's contemplating what to do next in life, if you look at a system like the Kruger National Park, it's generally thought of as a self-sustaining system. So there's very little interference from management when it comes to the lion population. And the lion population in the Kruger is stable, which is good, if not increasing. So yeah, each area that we talk about when we talk about what that area can hold in terms of lions, especially fenced off reserves, guys, they have what's called a management plan, an environmental management plan. Each reserve will have one, and then they will have what is called a carrying capacity, and that will tell the reserve what the numbers should be for each species within that reserve. And lions in a reserve like, for example, King, we know that the reserve is more or less 20,000 hectares, and we know that we can have one lion per 1,200 to 1,300 hectares. One lion per 1,200 to 1,300. So we can have, as a carrying capacity in King, less than 20 lions. This is where emotions run high, guys. So when game reserves start talking about how they manage their lion populations, one way is to contracept. So you don't want as many lions being bred, so you contracept half the females, you let the other half breed. That reduces your numbers by half. Then you are looking at other methods of like hemihysterectomies, where they cut out one of the ovaries, so it's like a half spay, and that also limits the lion in having cubs, but it's far more healthier for them. So the animals can breed, have properly functioning dynamics, behavioral dynamics within the prides, because we find if you stop all the breeding of these lions, there's also a problem with pride dynamics. And there's a lot of things that are still to be learnt about, what's going on in these smaller reserves, particularly when it comes to lions and their behavior. So you want to mimic the natural process as far as possible, the natural process being let the lions breed. But obviously managers have to step in, and they have to make hard decisions, and one of them is the hemihysterectomy or the spay, total spay, and or contraception. Contraception has all sorts of issues. We know that from these lions. Mega issues with the contraceptive implant. So generally speaking nowadays, management is not wanting to use that technique. Okay, so the other method is to obviously offer up surplus lions for sale or to give away. There's no such thing as selling lions here in South Africa anymore. They just offer them, for free to good homes. Recently, what's come up is people saying, well, these wild lions that are surplus should be given to sanctuaries. For me, if you're an animal lover and you want to put a wild lion in captivity, that speaks volumes about you. Because knowing lions and knowing their behavior as well as I do, a wild lion will never, ever, ever be suitable for captivity. They don't adapt well. The other option we have, guys, is translocation. But again, we ask translocation to where? Out the country, to other reserves. There have been instances where this has been on the cards, but what is found now, research has shown that despite the costs and the trauma, the stress of taking these animals and sending them to different countries, those countries that are in need of the lions fill up very quickly, A, but B, very often these lions are outcompeted by the local resident lions. So and or break out, they become problematic. Animals get shot by farmers or injured or killed by lions that are occurring in the area. The best case scenario is land that has been rehabilitated that doesn't house any lions, and then you take lions surplus and you repopulate those areas. The next things that start to come up on the table, and this is where it becomes hugely emotional and people get ugly about it, and most likely there might be even some ugly comments coming under this video, but here's the reality. So a lot of reserves utilize a management tool of euthanasia. So euthanasia can be either the vet coming in and the lions being euthanized with euthanasia, and or it could mean somebody coming in and shooting the lions, culling the lions, and then other reserves will utilize hunting as a form of lion management. But then ethically speaking, generally they would want to only hunt older males that have sired young and are past their usefulness, past their sell-by date, so to speak. And ethically speaking, those reserves would want to hunt those older males. So again, I don't know many hunters who are going to want to come and hunt young male lions. They don't even have fully developed manes. So again, it's a predicament. So do you sell those lions off to, lion farmers? No, we don't want to see that happen. So most reserves would agree that euthanizing the lions is the most humane method of actually balancing the lion numbers in these smaller reserves. So one of the things that's coming up is when the public at large catches wind of game reserves wanting to euthanize lions, and you know, lions obviously evoke huge emotions because of what they symbolize. So when these game reserves, and sometimes it just slips out, or landowners make a big song and dance. So landowners make a big song and dance because they have to be cognized of what is happening in the management of the animals within the reserve. So if all landowners aren't aligned, then you get some landowners that cause a stir, especially on social media. So they go onto social media and they go, oh, this game reserve is wanting to euthanize these 4 beautiful, healthy male lions. And then everyone gets up in arms and petitions are sent out and everyone's telling the reserve they cannot euthanize these lions. And ultimately, yeah, people are ill-informed and they have one side of a story and they run with it. And it causes such reputational damage and harm to these reserves. And it's very hard to combat and to counter such statements and allegations. You know, when the reserve managers are referred to as murderers, it's very hard to combat or counter these allegations of the public at large, because it's like, if reserve managements come up with statements, it's like fueling fires, because as soon as they come out with a statement, there's 101 other posts on social media that is shared and liked by millions. Most get the facts completely wrong, and yeah, why let the truth get in the way of a good story? A lot of the people that are getting onto these social media platforms are just doing it for likes anyway. They couldn't really care about the well-being or health of the reserve or the inhabitants thereof. So, you know, it's very difficult to understand. Come, let's go this way. It's very difficult to understand the agendas of people on these groups and these platforms. And I just want to caution people to be very careful about commenting or liking or sensationalizing these posts that are very conniving at times. Very often they have these ulterior motives and these agendas. What is one of the answers, guys? One of the answers which I really want you to listen to and to think about is, and I know this is just definitely not romantic, is if we want to see more lions thrive in the wild in South Africa, we need to give them more space, because these little 20, 30, 40,000 hectare reserves are simply not big enough to maintain big numbers of lions. So we need to give back land. And one of the missions of my foundation, the Kevin Richardson Foundation, is to try and acquire land and protect it. So preserve and protect land, acquire it. But to acquire land, one needs to have money, and you need to have lots of it. And it's not as romantic raising money for land as it is saving animals. So I will say that, you know, if you're trying to raise money to save a lion called Simba, who comes from very horrible circumstances in a zoo in Czech Republic, people just donate. But if you run a campaign saying, listen guys, we want to, you know, buy up 15,000 hectares and it's going to cost 100 million or $5 million, people are like, well, yeah, I can't really see what I'm getting for my money, so rather not. All right, guys, so in conclusion, while we're waiting here very patiently for our lift to arrive to bring these 2 lovely ladies back to their camp, in conclusion, it's a very complicated topic and probably a video that's not going to garner many views. I hope it does garner views, because it'll then enlighten people to actually think about A, what they say on social media, but B, how they think about the lion population here in South Africa.
because I think it's very easy for foreigners to think that lions are threatened and are endangered, and that therefore why are we putting lions down? And that is actually correct. I think they are, you know, quite right in thinking that, because if that's all the knowledge that they have, then that's what I would think. But now, armed with this information and this video, if you do have a friend who is ill-informed, why don't you share this video? All that's left for me to say is from Echo and Niobe somewhere down there, and myself. Till next time, bye.